Welcome back, beautiful tri state area. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by One Spawn a Coconut. Today we're featuring Amy Suzanne Upchurch, founder and CEO of Pink Stork, the prominent women's wellness company. Amy is not only a successful businesswoman, but also a loving mama to 6 children, one of whom has Down syndrome. Now, her personal journey has driven her to become a passionate advocate for individuals with Down syndrome. In addition to running Pink Stork, Amy is dedicated to supporting advocacy work within the Down community. A significant portion of Pink Stork's proceeds goes towards empowering and improving the lives of those with Down syndrome. Now, Down syndrome, also called trisomy 21, is the most common chromosomal condition in the United States. A chromosomal condition, also called genetic condition, happens when there's a problem in one or more chromosomes. And chromosomes are the structures that hold genes. Genes are part of our body cells that store instructions for the way your body grows and works. Genes are passed from parents to children. About 1 in 700 babies, that's less than 1%, is born with Down syndrome. Many children with Down syndrome lead healthy, active lives. They can go to school, participate in activities, and enjoy being social with others. Now, each person has 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 46 in all. For each pair, you get one chromosome from your mother and one from your father. Babies with Down syndrome have that extra copy of chromosome 21, just a little extra. And this extra copy changes the way the brain and body develop. Here to shed some light and educate us is Down syndrome advocate supermama Amy Suzanne, founder and CEO of Pink Stork. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hi, thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me with that precious little boy, Maximilian. Thank you for coming, my little love.
Hey, hi, buddy.
So those of you that cannot see us just yet, she has come on to the set with her beautiful baby boy Maximilian. Oh, he just made his little entrance. My heart is melting. My heart is melting. So let's jump right in. Let's talk background and motivation because that's where it all starts.
For sure.
So can you share with us the what inspired you to start Pink Stork and how has your journey as a mom influenced the vision and mission of your company?
Of course. Well, I actually, growing up, I was told I was gonna struggle getting pregnant. I struggled with regular cycles and all sorts of things. So when I found out that I was pregnant very shortly after I got married, I was really surprised. And anyways, I ended up having a really tough pregnancy. At one point, I was given 24 hours to live after I contracted a blood infection and overcome hyperemesis gravidarum. And needless to say, it just was not very good at being pregnant. I actually did that 4 more times. And so by the fourth time, I was like, my body is done. I cannot do this anymore. There's got to be a better way to overcome the challenges that I was facing during my pregnancy. And so, long story short, took a very holistic, natural approach to that fourth pregnancy and basically had the best pregnancy I'd ever experienced. Didn't have to go to the hospital, didn't have to have live on medication, IVs, all the things. And I decided I wanted to start a company to help other women that were struggling with their bodies and challenges with their bodies, and started Pink Stork. And here we are today.
And the rest is history. And now, so as a mother of 6, including Maximilian, who has Down syndrome, how do you balance your personal and professional responsibilities?
That is a great question. Every day looks a little different. I think for me, really being ruthless with my time is really my number one go-to. I really am intentional about, the time and how I spend my time. And that's kind of what I live by. So prioritizing my time.
And you do such a great job. Look, you're doing it right now. You are balancing being a mama and being an advocate and a spokesperson. Now, for those of you listening, many factors are part of a Down syndrome diagnosis, right? Your age when you get pregnant, for one, your risk of having a baby with Down syndrome increases as you get older, especially if you are age 35 or older, according to statistics, and also being a carrier of a certain type of Down syndrome. So if you or your partner are a carrier of one type of Down syndrome, you carry a gene change for that condition, but you don't actually have the condition. You can pass the gene change to your baby, but it's rare. And already having a baby with Down syndrome, that's the last part. If you already have a baby with Down syndrome, your risk for having another one is higher. So for those of you listening, those are the statistics you should be aware of. Now, um, Amy, let's talk about Pink Stork. So Pink Stork has been successful in the women's wellness market. It's a
Right.
very niche market. What do you believe sets your company apart from others in the industry?
We are woman owned and we're woman run. So we have about 80%, 85% of our employees are females. And so I think for us being able to really understand and relate to a woman and the challenges that she's going through, that's really what sets us apart from a lot of these our competition and who's in this space and who's developing products for women's bodies while she's going through, different life changes. So I would say, just being really able to empathize and understand a female.
That's all you had to say. You sold everyone listening, empathizing with the female. And the US has 12.3 million women owned businesses. So 40% of US businesses are women owned, and US women owned businesses generate $1.8 trillion a year. Yet women receive just 7% of venture funds for their startups, which is still such a big gap in equality and in pay. Now, let's shift just a tad. So can you discuss a challenge that you faced while growing Pink Stork and how you overcame it?
Multiple challenges. I started the company not knowing anything about business or what I was getting into or how to do anything. So I think just, you know, everything that we've done at Pink Stork has been done through kind of carving our own path and going our own way. And so I I can't, I when I think of a specific challenge, I think one thing is I'm really big on also like just women in general, employing women and being an advocate for their professional careers and development. And so working with women, obviously there's a lot that women do and have to do, struggling being a balance of moms, kids, wife, friends. And so I would say, one of our struggles is that, but it's also one of our greatest strengths too. So just continuing to develop opportunities professionally for women is something very important to us as a brand, and it's unique.
And what listen, you are balancing it all very eloquently, and you have razor focus, and you have your baby on one hand and you're talking professionally in the other, and nothing phases you. You're really, really sharp when it comes to being able to multitask and give your time presently to each one, even to an interviewee like myself, and you're doing a fantastic job, Amy. Now, yeah, congratulations. You see that? And he's participating so nicely. For those of you listening on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, that is our special guest, Maximilian. He is saying hello. Now, how has your experience as a parent of a child with Down syndrome shaped your approach to business and advocacy?
Yeah, I think for me, just learning about, I didn't have a lot of awareness around Down syndrome and what that meant and what that looks like for individuals that are living with Down syndrome. And so, as a business owner, I feel a responsibility to help, them continue to have opportunity and employment and growth professionally, personally, making sure that they feel like they have full lives to live and reaching their full potential, whatever that might be. So creating that opportunity with Pink Stork has been a focus of ours since having Maximilian, really opening my eyes.
Yeah, and listen, motherhood, every single time you experience it, you experience something different and you grow even more. And probably you've come into your own, and it's a full circle now with your sixth child. But when you talk about diversity, diversity is cited as a top value by almost every organization, and people with disabilities often are overlooked or under-supported, and very few organizations include initiatives for hiring people with disabilities, and many don't consider whether their policies and practices are making it harder than necessary for people with disabilities to fully participate. So being aware of that is extremely important, which clearly you are, but a lot of business owners are not. And as a result, they're missing out on a great source of talent and missing out on the full potential of people whose abilities put them in some way outside the standard fit in our workplaces. is really important to be aware of. And having good disability inclusion policies isn't just the right thing to do; it's the only thing to do in businesses, because we have to include everybody. So thank you for doing that outside of just being a super mama, because you have now put your money where your mouth is, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, it's been exciting. We're working with other companies that are helping us find job placements for. We've hired, I think, 4 people with disabilities over the past like 3 months. So it's incredible to see, you know, Pink Stork and just the environment, really working together to help bring awareness to individuals with Down syndrome.
Without a doubt, and the ripple effects go well beyond the people who may be living with with the disability, and even visible. Let's talk about visible disabilities, because 96% of severe disabilities aren't readily apparent. It takes compassion and foresight to plan for accessibility, and showing a commitment to accessibility, especially in multiple ways, shows people that their differences are accepted, welcomed, and valued. And it took perhaps you having a child with Down syndrome to advocate for this, but
Yeah.
now you are in it. You're at the forefront of this fight, and God chose you for a reason. That's the only way that you can answer this, right?
Yeah, and I think too, as a business owner, culture is so important, and understanding and just witnessing myself the way that people with disabilities can help shape your culture as a company. I think I've seen it happen firsthand over these, since learning and incorporating people with disabilities into the organization. It's been phenomenal. Like, it's just amazing to see.
Well, you're definitely paving the way and supporting not just women, but but individuals with Down syndrome in the coming years. You're definitely a pioneer over there. Now, how do you manage to stay motivated and focused given the myriad of responsibilities you have?
That's a great, I think that for me, when I'm passionate about something, it's all consuming. And so it doesn't, I don't feel like I'm working. I'm doing what I love. And so I think it just comes very natural. I am, like I said, ruthless with my time and ruthless on what it is that I'm spending my time working on. But I try to align that with my passions and just let it run.
Now, my last question to you is Maximilian is he's going to be a year in April of 2024, and having him obviously has changed your perspective on a lot, including life and motherhood and career. What advice would you give to a family receiving a Down syndrome diagnosis?
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. I feel like, it's the start of a new beginning to have a really open mind as to how God chose you. God chose this baby to bring into this world, and it's going to do something impactful, and to really trust the process of the unknown. I think that can be so scary of you don't know what's to come. That's where people tend to freeze and panic and you try to control everything. But I would really my advice would be to trust the process of the unknown, because that's going to leave you into an amazing world that you never even knew existed, and to really enjoy that journey of the unknown.
That's a great answer. And lastly, what stigmas do you wish to demystify if you can choose three?
Oh, 3 stigmas. Oh, this is nice. I think capabilities, their capabilities go beyond what our limitations or the society's limitations are for people with disabilities. So to really erase capabilities, have an open mind as to what they're bringing into this world. Destigmatizing also, I think, just the physical attributes that some people with disabilities can bring. Really looking at everyone, we're all unique, none of us look alike, so there shouldn't be any, people make assumptions based off of what people look, and I would really love to destigmatize that as well. And capabilities, physical appearance, and also, I guess I would say, what having an open mind. I just feel like being open minded about how they can change society, because I think when people have closed minds, that's where we're limiting ourselves as a society. And so really having an open mind as to what path might unfold, what future impacts they're going to have to bring to this world. He has something that I don't have and that you don't have. And that is a gift. And we should welcome that with open arms and explore it to its fullest potential, allowing him to take every opportunity that he wants or that anyone else wants into this world.
So those 3 stigmas would be capabilities, limitations, and physical attributes, and I think that those are perfectly said because that's exactly what people judge, and so thank you for saying that, and your transparency means a lot, and this was a great segment. I could talk to you for hours.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. We're so excited. And thank you for all the work that you're doing as well.
That was our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. That was the awesome Amy Suzanne, founder and CEO of Pink Stork. It's a prominent women's wellness company. You could head directly on their website at pinkstork.com, or you could check her out on the gram at amy.suzanne. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, 0 additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.